Album done. Third album, as I was doing this, is when my research showed me just how much you've evolved, and I call this segment the new cats, working with the new school artists, from calligraph to guys who I don't even know, working this new sound. I mean, you're talking about 22 years. Explain to me your transition process and how do you still keep relevant? Because this is what you do. You know, a lot of other artists, I'm no longer in the music industry. A lot of other people have left the game. You can, as I've done this Playhouse, I can count the artists who from 22 years ago are still here. How have you been able to transition, and where is the industry now?
I'd say one, the quest to be a trendsetter, I think keeps me going. You know what I mean? If you're always the kind of guy who will say, let me try and see what's hot and jump on it, you'll die with the fashion. You know what I mean? But if you're always that guy who says, let me try and create a new sound, you'll last longer. You definitely last longer. Another thing, I really research on my consumer, man. You know what I mean? Same guys I was singing for 22 years ago have grown, have matured, their tastes have changed. Dynamics of the industry are really changing. Back then when we started, there was no YouTube.
Instagram.
There's no Instagram, there's no social media. So now ways of releasing and marketing music has really changed. You know what I mean? FM stations were like 2 or 3. Right now they're like 100. You know what I mean? So if you're doing a media tour back then, it was much easier than now. Right now, if I was deciding to do a media tour, I'm doing like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But I think that thing of studying your consumer can really take you a long way. Anytime you're signing an autograph on the street and somebody tells you, Wyre, man, we need that uprising vibe again, or kind of thing, or what happened to that Usuhuba kind of R&B thing, you know what I mean? So I try and apply that in the studio when I go back to the studio, trying to still remain relevant, but also trying to be a trendsetter in the same time. If you can strike the balance, it will definitely work well for you.
That album has got Calligraph Jones, and it's also got Johnny
Vigeti.
I mean,
that was the Lion album, yeah.
We getting fly with every single track we're giving you. Love child calligraph, we mashing up into.
Love child on the case. Gideon boots ready now. Ready if you go fight life's war. Negativity full of toxin. Ready for pollute in her conscience. Sina oganina mola. Thamani hawatani pora. Majaribio kwa wingi. Imani yangu msingi.
That's my, yeah.
In fact, let's talk about the Lion album.
Lion album. I think that's one of my most favorite pieces of work up to now, man. I dropped it in 2015. Lion is a song dedicated to my son.
He's in the video.
Yes, he's actually in the video.
Of course, you don't show his face.
Yeah.
But in fact, you've been very good at hiding your personal life, right?
You live a long life if you do.
Yeah.
You see, my personal life, it's the one thing I have to myself. I live my whole life in front of cameras, on stage. And the one thing I have to myself is my personal life. So I really value it. My family, I protect them, you know what I mean? I mean, artists are different. Some people prefer to be more public when it comes to their lives, but I prefer not to. I'm a very private person. Okay. So Lion, was dedicated to my son. We had a bit of a rough time with the pregnancy. So to the point where the doctor said, yo, it's not going to happen. We need to terminate. And that's when I was like, no, this is not happening. That's when I got down on my knees and like, yo, God, you need to come through, man. So when I see him, he's, for me, he's a fighter, man. He came through, man. And he's a living testimony that, you know, there's a God somewhere, man, you know what I mean? So that fighting element is why I called him a lion. Because lion like his father, because his father, man, is relentless when it comes to this music, man. You know what I mean?
When you opened up your eyes and you stared at me, see, I knew right then you were lying like your father. like your father. Yeah. Cause you're a lion like your father. Yeah, a lion like your father.
Like you said, at that point I worked with some of the new cats. At that point, Calligraph had really respected his game when it came to hip hop, and I loved what he was doing for the game at that point. So I was like, yo, I asked him, can we work on this? And a couple of months before, I'd featured on his remix for the We Be Happening remix.
Yeah.
Active for them chats, but we not owe them. Me have the remedy, dancehall doctor. Look, try me give you therapy, new chapter. When dancehall and hip hop are mash up, such combination I bring out disaster.
So I featured on that. So he came through for me on my album. And then at the same time, Vigeti had been working on his album with Ken Ring. And Ken Ring had mentioned to me that Vigeti would really like to have you on his album. And that's when he was working on Barua Mwisho. So when he sent it to me, it only had his verses. And I had never heard Johnny sound like that. Johnny had always been my favorite in the group, by the way. I always used to wait for his verses. But I'd never heard Johnny sound like that, man. There's some point in that song you could hear his voice cracking.
Exactly.
He's in tears, he's crying. It's the story of his life, man. So I was like, yo, you do know this is Johnny.
The legend.
The legend. So how do I keep up to this, man? But yeah, I put my feelings on the track, and that's what came out. And when we sent it back, he loved it. He loved it, man. So for me, it was a big honor to have him on my album, Bless My album. The song is also on his album as well. But for me, it was a big honor to have it on, have him on my album. Yeah, we've got Scales from Nigeria on the same album. We've got Cecile on it as well. So it's a mix of different artists. I did another song with JB Minor as well. I worked with producers like The Herbalist, who came through. Big up Herbalist. You know yourself, wherever you are. Came through, and he actually engineered and mastered the whole album for me as well. So we have a good working relationship with him. There's a lot more coming out from both of us. Yeah, but that's one of my favorite albums to date, man. Definitely. Unfortunately, after dropping the album shortly, maybe like 2-3 months after, I lost my dad. So I didn't get to really actively push that album as much but yeah, we're getting back into it right now, so pushing stuff as much as we can.
Yeah.
Okay,
man, as I said, for me it's an absolute honor just having you here and just speaking. What can we expect? Because this Wyre is just getting started. Sauti Sol, Nyashinsky, talk to us, man.
No, man, there's a lot of experiments. There's a lot of unreleased music, man. Music right now, man. Even Herbalists will tell you, man, they have like an archive of music right there that's unreleased, man. That's just waiting to come out. But there's always a new idea that's really waiting to be explored, man. I'll call him at odd times at 11 at night, like, Chief, Keshaw, you're in studio. Where are you? You're in which county? Please come back. I need to record this, kind of thing. We never get tired of experimenting, you know what I mean? There's a lot more projects coming out.
Nas, anything with Nas?
Yes, there's unreleased stuff from me and Nas already, so waiting for that to come out soon. In the right time, when we're ready for it to drop, it's going to drop as well. For me, I just dropped, I don't know when this is going to show on when you're uploading this, but I just
today.
Dropped today.
What you know.
Yeah, so I dropped a new single yesterday called Fever. Working with different producers also as well. I'm working with a guy called Magic from Nigeria, Wonder Magic from Nigeria, doing amazing things right now. And seriously looking at also getting to a lot more production, back into a lot more production as well, myself as well. So yeah, Wyre is here for a while.
And I know you're old school, but man, just what are your social media pages? Where can guys get in touch with you?
Both Twitter and Instagram is Wyre Da Love Child, Wyre Da Love Child. Facebook is Wyre Fan Page.
Wyre Fan Page.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of fake accounts out there, man. I was trying to get the original one.
Yeah.
So no problem. And YouTube?
YouTube is just Wyre Channel.
Wyre Channel.
Wyre Channel, that's me.
Hey Wyre, it's been an absolute pleasure just having this conversation with you. As Yanni, you've taken us way back. And
thanks for having me, man. And yo, you've commissioned me some memories, man. What?
There'll definitely be, this is just the beginning of where this conversation will go. Because I know after I have a conversation with Ted, I'll just run back and say, Wyre, you didn't tell us these stories, man.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But big up yourself. This is a great thing you're doing, man. I was watching Musyoka's interview and SK Blues, man, and it brought back amazing memories, man.
It did, man.
So yeah, people need to hear about it, man. Definitely.
So guys, from Wyre, just leave us with an acapella of something, man. I can't just use them vocals.
This an uprising, yeah, this an uprising, yeah, this an uprising, for the youth on the scene, tell them not to lose hope in life, no you see. Foundation of the future be the only thing, and the focus of the youths, and whether get a youths or the uptown youths, and it no matter strap on your giddy and boots, and rain out for burn down corruption, burn drug abuse, and burn negativity in life for the youths, and we no 1% fight anymore, and we no 1% fight. This an uprising, yeah. What's up, people? This is Wyre the Love Child, and I'm signing out. Big up yourself. Bless.